Alright guys, it's time to talk about Thorchain or RUNE on the channel now once again. Now, this will be my third video in a row on RUNE or Thorchain, and I don't typically do that, but we need to talk about it. And I can tell you that RUNE was actually one of the strongest cryptos in this dump that we saw. And personally, I am a little bit shocked. Although I did mention that on a lot of the time frames, RUNE was very oversold, guys. So that is why I went ahead and I bought at $1.36 the other day. And then I had an order for $1 flat for another 100, guys. So I had 200 at one point. Now, I sold probably that second batch a little bit too early. I sold at $1.19, but I brought my average down to about $1.17 or $1.18, something, like this, guys. So I'm not ashamed to say that I sold, and, I made, what, 19 bucks or something. It's not a lot of money, but the thing was for me to bring that average down. Now, I still have orders, but I will probably cancel those orders shortly, and I have an order for 80 cents and around 63 cents. Now, together, that order is for about 220 RUNE. But do I think that's going to get filled? No, unless we get really bad news about the bankruptcy. Now, when are we going to know about the bankruptcy? Hard to say, guys. If you're not prepared to hold RUNE for the long term, then probably RUNE is not for you right now. Because this is probably going to take a while to figure out with the creditors. Now, I think it's something like 200 million they owe. And, if we take a look at RUNE, the tokenomics, guys, there is actually 351 million circulating. Now, max supply is 500 million here. Total supply, which has been created, is 426 million. So, what can they do, guys? They can probably, and now I'm just kind of speculating myself, maybe they settle with the creditors to give them some of this supply. So, we have to wait and see. RUNE is currently on a bounce, guys. If you do see the last couple of days, it's been a quite nice bounce. Now, the low for RUNE was 95.5 cents. Now, like I said, I had that order for 100 right at $1. And so that was really almost a perfect hit for that 100. And I haven't marked off any daily time frame resistances or supports here, but I think from my other PC, I think I had $1.42 as a daily support. It's just really hard to find daily supports on RUNE because the history is so big. And, I'm going to stick with this weekly support and resistances, which are these green lines, guys. But right now, we have to get up to about $1.93, it looks like. And then we're going to have to fight this trend line. So I don't know where this is going to come into play, but maybe we catch it here, maybe we get it over even here at $1.93. Maybe we just kind of go sideways and just barely up. Who knows? We're getting a small bounce. Yesterday and today was really a small bounce. But I can say it was one of the stronger cryptos in the dump. So let's look at the relative strength index and the stochastic really quick, guys. Daily time frame pointed to the upside here on RSI. Now, it looks like it just wants to maybe curve back up here on the stoch. Now, I'm going to go to the weekly time frame real quick. Now, it's really oversold still on the weekly time frame, curved up and almost in the oversold territory with the RSI. So that is looking good too. I want to go to the month here real quick, if this will cooperate with me. Now, it is pointed to the downside on the month, but again, we're in oversold territory, so that is good to see. Also, it's pointed down on the RSI, but it's just under the midpoint. So really, it's in neutral territory, we can say. Still not too bad, not great. It should be pointed to the upside if we want to see momentum continue on the monthly time frame, but this is basically oversold, guys. I expect this probably to turn back up any moment, and this probably will too. You know, the monthly time frame just takes longer because it's a monthly time frame, guys. Now, let's go to some of the lower time frames here. Now, we are overbought on the 4-hour right now, and we are coming up on the RSI, but we are not that bad with the RSI. 1 hour, it's kind of hit the oversold and bounced down, so it is pointed to the downside here. It is overbought here again on the 1 hour, so not so great for the 1 hour time frame, but this is a really low time frame to look at RUNE on, guys. In the 15-minute, basically it's oversold here on the Stochh RSI. Now it's kind of flat here with the RSI here, and let's see, maybe it can make another turn to the upside here in the short term. So overall, what I'm getting at right now, I think RUNE still looks pretty good. Lower time frames look a little bit less good, you know, or well than the longer term time frames like the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. I do believe will turn up soon. Just have to wait and see. Now, anyways, let's get rid of this real quick, guys. So yeah, if we go back to RUNE on tokenomics, guys, over here, the all-time high was about almost $21, guys. So even right now, you're getting a 93% discount. Now, that comes with a big risk, of course. Like I said, if you're going to get into RUNE now, which I'm grateful for the opportunity, really, because that was one of the coins always on my list. I just never had the money to get it. And for 117 bucks the other day, I got 100. So I'm in. Thank you, Thorchain. Now, it's kind of the wrong way to get into it, you know, in a bankruptcy, but I wish it could have been under better circumstances. And, you know, I'm willing to take this risk, though. And, you know, if I would have bought it at $2 or $3, you know, I'd be pretty angry if it came down to this. So I know there's a lot of people that, you know, bought at much higher prices, and now they're trying to DCA, and, you know, their average is $2, $3, $4 still. Hey, you know, it's all a risk. Every project is a risk. You know, for example, a lot of people think that this is the next Luna, guys. I don't think this is the next Luna. Luna was a totally different circumstance. They were playing around with a stable coin, and that did not work out. And a lot of people wondered why they were playing with a stable coin, you know, and it ended up backfiring on them. And, you know, Thorchain is now sitting in a prison. So let's not get into that right now. And again, there is another pattern here on the 4-hour time frame. I want to point this out because I saw this a little bit earlier. Now, when you have a W pattern and it comes from a long-term downtrend, and you can see this is a kind of long-term downtrend. It did get kind of a W pattern here. Now, the problem with this is it didn't really break the neckline. I would say this actually line right here is kind of the neckline, and it kind of failed right there. So the the W pattern didn't play out here. Now, here we have another W pattern forming. Now, what I want to see is to come up to about $1.94, and we have to break that. If we don't break that, you know, then we might continue down something like this. Now, let me make a measurement where this can possibly take us if we break the neckline. So let me move this. Let's just say we went straight up today. Now, that target would take us up to the next resistance at around $2.84. Now, it says $2.87. I know over here, these lines are not perfect, guys. Sorry. But just expect some resistance here. And depending on what is going on in the world, then, you know, maybe we hit this for a little while before going to the next, you know, resistance point. Now, I want to point out the dominance, guys. This is one of the most important things that we have to look at. And this is the daily time frame, guys. And I watched this live last night at about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up, and for some reason, I always wake up, in the middle of the night, especially when something bad is happening to Bitcoin. And yeah, I literally watched this, go straight up from I think about here, all the way up to 64, 0.34, where it hit, and I drew this red mark. Now, I want to point out, let me put this on a weekly time frame too. Now, there is kind of some good news here, guys. The last cycle, you can see, let me just spread this a little bit. Basically, we hit this, 1, 2, 3, 4 times before massively crashing. Now look at this crash. This crash was just massive. Went all the way straight down to about 40, a little bit under 41%, guys. And you can see there was some lower points here along the way. But mainly, that was pretty much probably the best time to even take profit, and just walk away. Now, okay, you could have made maybe a little bit more money if you stayed in, caught some of these bounces, sold, bought back, yeah. But once it hit where we hit today, and it hit it 4 times, I mean, it pretty much crashed. So I think that is good news. I think we are getting a strong reaction off 64.34. And if I go over here, it's taking forever to get there. Yeah, you can see that. Now, basically, this is a daily candle because we just started this week, this candle. But yeah, on a weekly time frame so far, this is, getting a strong downward push. Now, if you go back to my videos too, guys, I do want to mention, and I want to point this out, and, a lot of people won't believe me, but if you go back to the videos, I did say that this was the target if we broke the neckline here. Now, if I put this on a daily time frame, guys, I told you that this could be the retest over here. And it looks like that held true. So basically the neckline was right here. Now it came a little bit below the neckline, but hey, it actually retested this trend line too at the same time. And that is probably why it was so strong bouncing off. That's what I think, guys. I think it was holding this trend. It was testing the neckline. And this was just, so strong of a bounce right off those 2 things that were just, happening at once, we can say. So we need to start, making our way back through these levels. But I am a little bit worried now still about this trend line. We have to break this trend line. This seems that is a very strong trend line for some reason. I don't know why, but we need to break it. Anyways, guys, let's take a look at the altcoin season index. Now, let me refresh this real quick. Looks like it's a 47. I just refreshed it, I think. So, okay, 45 now. Okay, I refreshed it this morning. Yeah, it was 47, so now it's 45. But anyways, we are down pretty massively, from yesterday. You can see we were at 61. It was looking real nice. And boom, nothing, So now, fear and greed, guys. Basically, there is a lot of fear right now. Don't be afraid. Don't worry. We have not hit a single bull market peak indicator yet. And if I show you guys, 0 from 30 have been hit. It's 100% hold at the moment. I know this looks ugly and it scares you guys. Well, not now, but about an hour or 2 ago, it was a lot more uglier. Trust me. Anyways, be ready this week for a lot of economic numbers that are coming and things. I don't have this really set up where I can show you real quick, but tomorrow, there's more economic numbers on the way. All week long, there's just, economic numbers to be watching out for. Okay, now I have this jobs, openings tomorrow. We do have a couple of speakers tomorrow. Wednesday, you have some ISM numbers. You have some S&P numbers. Jobless claims Thursday, couple speakers. And Friday, non-farm payrolls, guys. So get ready. Prepare yourselves. If we get really good, we're going to see a mega bounce. And you're probably going to have more than when you started, even before last night or last week. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, activate the bell.